Hi everyone, I'm Jill Bolstridge recording to you from New York City for all my amazing students at Ohana Arts in Honolulu, Hawaii, and this is your Tidbit Tuesday. Today's tidbit is about turning your flaws into your assets. We all have things about our bodies and our voices that make us self-conscious or that impede our success. Today, we're talking about making those weaknesses our strengths, and to do so, I'm going to give you 5 simple tips. Tip number 1, be self-aware. Know what your flaws are so that you can turn those weaknesses into strengths and turn your limitations into limitless possibilities. A great example of this is the Broadway legend Bob Fosse. Fosse was born with a slightly rounded back and pigeon-toed feet. He did not have what we consider the traditional dancer's body with long, slender legs and a beautiful turnout. What he did have was immense talent, immense creativity, and a whole lot of self-awareness. Instead of being held back by his physical attributes, which would be characterized as flaws by any other dancer, Fosse used those flaws to create a new, original style which forever changed the world of dance and revolutionized the styles of Broadway. Fosse used his natural-born body and his brilliant mind to create his unique angular style of sassy hip thrusts, bent knees, splayed fingers, and percussive isolations, highlighting the vaudevillian humor of hunched-over shoulders and turned-in feet with the amazing mime-like articulation of stiff hands. You can do the same thing. Take your flaws and turn them into strengths. Tip number 2, go for the roles that give your flaws a chance to shine. If you're overweight like I am, go for the role of the fat funny girl. Like, be sassy, be funny, just like Melissa McCarthy does in every role she plays. If you have a lisp, exaggerate the hell out of that lisp and go for the role of the wacky comic book nerd. If you're self-conscious about your acne, go out for the role of the teenage drama queen who freaks out over every little pimple. You're a person, and you're a valid person, and characters are people. So there's no reason why your so-called flaws should hold you back from performative success. Tip number 3. Make your flaws work for you while simultaneously working on your flaws. If you have a lisp, keep playing those nerdy, lisping, Big Bang Theory type characters while simultaneously pursuing speech therapy. If acne is your worry, keep playing those pimply-faced teenagers while simultaneously seeing a dermatologist and developing an effective skincare routine. If you're pigeon-toed, audition for Fosse-style shows while continuing to work on improving your turnout with your dance teacher. As for me, I'm going to keep auditioning for those fat, sassy girls while simultaneously making a commitment to eat healthier and get more exercise. You can do the same. Turn your flaws into strengths while simultaneously working to overcome them. 2 things can be true at once. Tip number 4, have a sense of humor and the confidence to laugh at yourself. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a huge laugh from my audience by shaking my big butt on stage. Being unafraid to laugh at yourself will open the door for endless possibilities. Tip number 5, if the role you want doesn't exist, create it. Some of the most successful performers today are those who created their own work. You can write scripts, you can choreograph dances, you can devise your own material, you can improvise, you can be a songwriter, you can create your own content and publish it on YouTube or produce your own variety night. The lack of roles for people who look like you isn't a deficit, it's an opportunity. Those are my 5 tips for turning your weaknesses into strengths. In closing, I'd like to quote one of my all-time favorite theater professors, Professor William Grand George, with whom I studied at Roger Williams University in Bristol, Rhode Island. He once said, "Theater is interesting because it is about life, which is interesting." Just as there are a billion different types of people in the world, there are billions of different characters to be played. The roles that work for you are out there, and if they're not, create them. I'm Jill Bolstridge, recording for Ohana Arts, and this is your Tidbit Tuesday.